Good. And it's an honor and a privilege to be here. And our theme to our meeting this beautiful day is Summer is Here. Summer is here. Yes, Summer is here too, isn't she? And the kids are calmed down now, and Summer can be present with the meeting because Daddy's got the kids all taken care of. And she's going to be all excited to be here on this beautiful Monday evening. Welcome, Summer. And our word of the week is scrumptious. That's one of my favorite words to use, and all of you are super scrumptious. Each one of you have your gifts that you are continuously sharing with us, and tonight we have beautiful speakers that will be bringing forward some great topics. What are inalienable rights? Woof, inalienable. I think that should be one of our words of the week one day. And what are our inalienable rights? We have the dream team, and we have oneness of mankind and my role. Great topics tonight. Summer is here. Be prepared for a scrumptious evening filled with lots of desserts that all of you, I'm sure, will be serving as treats. I'm going to introduce to you this evening our Toastmaster of the meeting, Dr. Gary Newper is in the house this evening. And Gary is a longtime member of the Wellington Toastmasters. We love to listen to Gary's voice. It kind of mesmerizes us with that South African accent that he puts in there so nicely and eloquently. And let's put our hands together for Toastmaster Gary Newper.
Thank you, Toastmaster, Madam President Stacy. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. And we had a guest who is no longer here. It is my pleasure to serve as Toastmaster this evening. As Stacy mentioned, the theme for the meeting is Summer is Here. I'm not sure how many of you have been outdoors recently, but it's definitely very hot and very humid. So if we're lucky, it might help some of the snowbirds find their way back up north and reduce the traffic, which seems to have increased drastically again. As Toastmaster of your day, I serve as the Master of Ceremonies. For the benefit of our new members, a Toastmasters meeting has 3 sections: formal speeches, table topics, and evaluations. Just a reminder to everyone to please use the private chat function in Zoom to provide feedback to all our speakers, evaluators, and functionary roles this evening. I think it's incredibly important to be able to provide our speakers and everyone in the meeting with some feedback. If you have some positive feedback, areas for improvement, that would be really helpful. Throughout the meeting, our members have the opportunity to practice their listening, critical thinking, and management skills by serving in various roles. Before we get to the various roles, Toastmaster Shastri, would you please share the invocation for the evening with us?
Absolutely, Mr. Toastmaster. All right, let me see what I got here. All right, yes, I wanted to share this quote with you guys since we have all this protests and racial tension that's going on in the world. I thought that this quote was perfect for the time. And it's a quote from Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. It says, "Racism in America is like a dust in the air. It seems invisible, even if you're choking on it, until you let the sun in. Then you see it's everywhere. As long as we keep shining that light, We have a chance of cleaning it wherever it lands, but we have to stay vigilant because it's always still in the air. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shastri. Just a reminder to use the reaction function in Zoom to applaud our speakers as well. Toastmaster Henry Dow, please provide us the details of your R counter role.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Toastmaster of the day, the purpose of the odd counter is to know any word or sound used as a crutch by anyone who speaks during the meeting. Words may be inappropriate interjections. Toastmaster of the day. Wow, we really shortened it. Very straight to the point.
Thank you, Toastmaster Henry. Toastmaster Sabia, please explain your role as grammarian this evening.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gary. Bring Grammarian provides an exercise in expanding listening skills. I have several responsibilities tonight to introduce new words to the members, to comment on the language used during the course of the meeting, and to provide examples of eloquence. Word of the day today is scrumptious, which means extremely tasty, delicious, delightful, or excellent. Some of the usage of this word is Liz has packed her book with scrumptious details. Standard restaurant menu fare includes scrumptiously fluffy eggplant clouds, and the recipe lacks the extra effort to lift it to scrumptiousness. I encourage anyone speaking during any part of the meeting to use our word of the day, scrumptious. Thank you, Toastmaster Gary.
Thank you, Toastmaster Zabia, for that scrumptious description. Toastmaster Justin Gwynn, please explain your role as timer for this evening.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. I'm responsible for timing the time for each speaker. I operate the timing signal and indicating to each speaker how long he or she has been speaking. As general timer, I'm responsible for ensuring that we stay within the allocated time for each item on the agenda. I'll be noting each time on the agenda and give my report to the general evaluator at the end of the meeting. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Justin. Toastmaster Susanna Toledar, please explain your role as general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. If one thinks of a club meeting as a project, then think of the general evaluator as a quality control manager. I will be commenting on the overall flow of today's meeting and giving feedback. Thank you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Susanna. The first section of our meeting are formal speeches, which are prepared speeches based on specific projects in our Pathways course. This evening we have 3 speakers. Toastmaster Sonia Garate, please provide the project information for our first speaker. Sonia, you're on mute.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Our first speaker tonight is Jack Miller, and his speech is going to be his second speech, and his speech length is 5 to 7 minutes long. And when I say second speech, I mean he should have given the speech before, taken feedback, made changes, and now he's going to provide the speech again, incorporating the feedback that he received. Thank you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sonia. This evening, Toastmaster Jack's speech's title is What Are Inalienable Rights? In light of the past few months of quarantine restrictions and curfews, rights, responsibilities, and regulations have taken on new role as new norms. Rights, responsibilities, and regulations have taken on new roles as new normals have replaced past conditioning. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Jack Miller.
Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and I guess we have no honored guest today. Unalienable rights. What the heck are they? You know, the quest to give rights to mankind is something that started back around 1215 with the Magna Carta. It wasn't till another 500 years later when we passed the Bill of Rights in the United States, the first 10 amendments to the Constitution, that we really started to codify what rights were. The right to free speech, the right to bear arms, the right to vote. These are all rights. Yet, in the last couple of months, we've come to realize that rights are only a gift. Rights are a privilege. They're a privilege of the work that has been laid down by our forefathers for years in the past. They're privileges that we tend to take for granted. This whole idea that we have the right to do all these things. My talk began back about 2 years ago after the shooting at Stoneman Douglas High School, when I started talking about the Second Amendment rights, the right to bear arms under a well-regulated militia. But at that point in time, almost nothing was said about regulation, but this idea of the right to bear arms was taken on as if though it were a God-given right. Yet, as scrumptious as that may seem, it's not a reality. God gives us no rights. The evidence is very clear in that a hungry tiger doesn't care about your rights. The rights as we accept them now are a gift of law. They're a gift of the regulators. They're a gift that need not be trampled upon. They're a gift that we should always respect, but they're really a privilege. And that privilege has been acted on in this past couple of weeks and past few months like never before. We were asked to lock down in our homes, to not go to work, to not go to the grocery store, to not go to restaurants, bars, or entertainment centers. We weren't asked, we were told. We were told to shut them down for fear that the regulators would arrest us. And they did this with great intentions. I'm not sure it was the best thing to do, but certainly in the moment, it seemed like the healthiest thing we could do. And that's where we have to respect our regulators. Regulators need to be regulated. And what are regulators? Regulators are the people that give us the rights and the people that can take them away. Our parents are the first regulators we get to know. Our teachers, our bosses, supervisors in stores. Regulators come in all shapes and fashions and all types of people. They need to be respected. But being a regulator gives you a few more rights. More importantly, it gives you more responsibility. Regulators in the form of police officers, right now we're going through a major change in the way we view and accept the responsibility of regulators. We have some regulators that are probably going to go to prison because of their actions. These are actions that have been going on for far too long, and it takes regulators to make the new changes that are necessary. It takes regulators to keep us safe, to give us the rights that we want to have, the right that we have to express ourselves, the right to get on out and to protest in light of the situations that have been going on. Regulators give us the gift of law. Those laws sometimes need to be changed. Regulators are not always honest, as we have seen in this event and in many events throughout history. When a person is given a great deal of power, the authority to regulate your actions, that comes with a huge responsibility. Morally, physically, spiritually, those responsibilities have repercussions. They have repercussions in the actions we do and the actions that move our country forward. The events of the past few months have changed the way we act, the way we look at our rights, the way we look at our responsibilities, and the way we look at our regulators. Our regulators need our help. They need our support. But in order to get that help and support, they need to have respect. We need to respect them. That fourth R to come in here. I talk about the 3 R's for change: rights, responsibility, and regulations, because I see these 3 things as the foundations of democracy, the structure of liberty, and the absolute essence of justice. Yet these seeds are only that. For them to harvest into something meaningful, we need to start using them to view our rights, our responsibilities, and our regulation. Because in every domain of government, of legislation, of the way we act with one another, these 3 words come into play like no other words when you start to think of it. Right now, we all need to be responsible. If we're going to get on out there and march and protest, be responsible. If we're going to support our candidates for presidential and all the other offices, be responsible. Read, learn something about who you think you're supporting. Don't just do it because someone told you to. That is your responsibility. If you want to keep your freedom, keep your rights, be responsible in everything you do. God bless, and thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jack. We appreciate that heartfelt call to action and call to responsibility. I think it is each of our responsibility to be responsible. Thank you. Toastmaster Connie Andrews, please provide us with the project information for the second speaker this evening.
Connie, go ahead and unmute your phone. We can't hear you at all, baby.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. The purpose of this project is to clearly define how Toastmasters envisions mentoring. This is a 5 to 7 minute speech about a time when our Toastmaster was a protege. So I'm looking forward to hearing your scrumptious speech, The Dream Team. Micheline Nemhard. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Connie. The title of Micheline's speech this evening is The Dream Team. Micheline will share with us how essential it is to have the right people on your team. Let's give a warm round of applause for Toastmaster Micheline Nemhard.
Mission. E, engage. N, nurture. T, trust. O, big O, offering. R, reach. S, service. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. On a lighter note this week, I am doing a cheer because my mentors have been my cheerleaders. Before I get into the dream team, I want to share with you what the meaning of a mentor is. A mentor is someone who shares knowledge, skills, life experience to guide another towards reaching their full potential. If you had to assemble your dream team, who would be on that team? Think about it. If I had really the opportunity to organize my dream team, I probably would not have selected the mentors along the way. You see, I was in a different place, in a different time, immature. I did not know what I really wanted. So in hindsight, I am so grateful that they selected me to be on their team. So I call them my dream team. Now I'm going to share what I feel the mentors have been for me. My chair was M, mission. It was my dream team, had a mission to be my advocate. E, engage. They engaged with me and provided an insight. N, nurture. Oh boy, that was a big one. They cared for me, encouraged me when I was down, broken, lost, shy, and couldn't speak. And T, trust. Oof. You know when you trust someone what you will do for them. Trust. And O, the big O. That was an offering. That was the gift, the contribution. All the hard work and tears and sweat, patience and consideration and consistency, dedication and discipline paid off big time because I'm standing in front of you this evening. Now we go on to the R in mentor, and that is to reach back and get another. You may see someone who was once in your position. Give them a hand. And then share and service, the S in mentors. Share the gift of what your dream team has given you. I am the person this evening because of my dream team. They've done so much for me, and they have been a big advocate in my life. In conclusion, you and you and you and all of you, Wellington Toastmasters group, you have been on my dream team from day one. You have guided me when I was uncertain and couldn't speak. I was afraid to even verbal a word. I couldn't get it out. But you supported me along the way. When I had self-doubt, you showed me strength and confidence. For this, I am grateful for each one of you. And a very special shout out and cheer, yay, goes to Shastri and Stacy for walking alongside of me. And I wish I can do a cheerleader's cheer. That was my long time thing that I wanted to do. So that's the best I could do. But thank you for being there when I needed you. Thank you, Toastmasters.
Wow, thank you so much, Toastmaster Micheline. I think it's the first time I've seen a cheer from someone other than Stacy at Toastmasters. So her mentorship must be paying off well. On that note, Toastmaster Stacy Kessler, please provide the project information for our third speaker this evening.
It is always an honor to present this project description of our Toastmaster, Keon Green, as she focuses on recognizing her preferred communication style and understanding how her style impacts all of the interactions with others. I am excited to hear what Keon has to say about oneness of mankind and what her role is in this as she inspires us and shares her wisdom tonight. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day, Gary Newper.
Thank you, Toastmaster Stacy. Toastmaster Keon's speech title for this evening is Oneness of Mankind and My Role. We are one, humanity is one, we are all brothers and sisters. We believe these words. How do we translate these words into actions in our daily lives? Let's give a warm welcome to Toastmaster Keon.
Current situations of unrest made me reflect on the history of the US, the dark history of this country in terms of racial injustice. I was reflecting how far we have come towards racial equality and how much more we need to go to achieve oneness of mankind. I am sharing my thoughts with you because we are all collaborators for each other. Wouldn't you agree? We all have to work as a team, like Michelin said, the dream team. And we need each other to make progress towards achieving oneness of humanity. I was thinking of Michelle Obama. I watched a documentary of her book tour, Becoming. When she was planning her book tour, she strategically chose her interviewers. She not only chose Oprah Winfrey to interview her, but she also chose, guess what? Colbert, Stephen Colbert, a white dude, and Conan O'Brien, another white dude. You can understand the wisdom in this, can you not? So let's reflect together. My question to you, my first question, I have a few. Do you think the concept of oneness of humanity is just a slogan? You think it's just a slogan that we say once in a while when something happens and it takes the backseat when things smooth out? I see a few shake. Next question. Do you think oneness of humanity is an unattainable idea? You think it's unattainable? Impossible? Answer is no. So we believe we can achieve oneness of humanity. We believe the concept of oneness of humanity is not just a slogan. Then my question is, what do we do about it? What is my role? Yes, I believe in that. What is my role? How do we get there? Shastri shared a quote that racism is like dust in the air. May I add one more analogy, that racism is like a cancer in the body of humanity. So let's think about cancer. When someone has a cancer, who plays the role in fighting the cancer and removing the cancer? You may have the best doctors, a team of great doctors to help you out. But who ultimately plays the role in this? Us. So on that note, according to my research and a lot of reading, I came upon a very sensible but really profound solution to this. One, actually it is twofold, that we as individuals, we have our role in working to achieve the oneness of humanity, and we need to engage others. The second one is we need to engage others in a deliberate and collective effort. So what do I mean by it starts with me in my family? That's an easy concept, wouldn't you say? I need to not only talk about oneness of humanity, I need to really exemplify that. I need to live that concept, and I need to share that with my colleagues and my friends around me. Let me give you an example. I'm going to pick on a white dude from this screen. Justin, say you are invited to my group of friends. I only have Korean friends, but I do believe in oneness of humanity, God willing. But you are coming to my house and all you see are Korean people. And I invited you because I believe in diversity in the group. But you come, you're welcomed by me, at least by words. But all we talk is Korean K-pop, the real estate in Korea, the Korean drama. We only eat Korean spicy food. And you are invited again the next month to my house. So you may come a few times, but you really don't feel you are included. You really don't feel the genuine love and interest in you. How would you feel?
First of all, I'd be honored to come to your house and eat some good Korean food. But certainly it would be uncomfortable if everything was about, somebody else instead of you.
Thank you. That's what I read. To working for the oneness of humanity doesn't have to be a grand, big idea. We can start it right in our home by genuinely sharing our love and interest with others. So that when I am invited in your circle of friends, I'm not just a token Asian that you want to check off your diversity sensitivity. I am truly invited in your place as your friend. So when I read that concept, I thought, this is easy. I can do this. I can start right now in my home, and I can engage my friends in a deliberate and collective effort. So, fellow Toastmasters, I am sure you are also thinking about the racial injustice and your role in achieving oneness of mankind. Let's start now. Let's not wait. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hyun. As Justin said, I would also be very honored to come over and eat some Korean food. So I think you've planted a seed for everyone now.
I should do that, really. I should do that.
Yes, for sure. Thank you very much for sharing some of your thoughts with us and helping us understand oneness of humanity and our responsibility regarding that. Timer, can we please have a timer's report for the speakers?
Everybody was within time.
Thank you, Toastmaster Justin. Just a reminder to please provide feedback to our speakers via the chat function. So if you have some feedback, I'm sure they would really appreciate that. Toastmaster Stacy, do you want to hold off on the voting until after table topics? Or are you ready for me to launch the voting for speakers?
You can launch.
Okay. So we'll be launching the voting for our speakers for this evening. As a reminder, we had Toastmaster Jack Miller, Toastmaster Micheline Nembart, and Toastmaster Hian Green. Okay, we'll give it another 5 seconds. Okay. Thank you everyone for your votes. The next section of our meeting this evening will be table topics. This evening we have Toastmaster Summer presenting table topics for us. Let's welcome our table topics master, Toastmaster Summer.
Yay! Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. The Topics Master gives members who are not assigned a significant speaking role the opportunity to speak during the meeting. I challenge each member with a subject, and they respond with a 1 to 2 minute impromptu talk. Please pay attention to the time signals and utilize as much of these 2 minutes as you can. Our timer will demonstrate the timing signals now. Timer?
I will show the green card at 1 minute. I'll show the yellow card at 1 minute 30 seconds. And I'll show the red card at 2 minutes, and then I will clap you off at 2 minutes 30 seconds.
Thank you, timer. The topic will be repeated 2 times. It's time to get super present and focused now, as I will be calling on you after I've stated the topic. The table of topics reflects the theme of the meeting. Today, the theme for the meeting is Summer is Here. Please use the word of the week as well as any other words that you can recall from prior meetings. Our word of the week is scrumptious. So let's proceed with table topics. Last week I did something different with words, and this week I'm going to be doing something different with images. The topic is going to be an image instead of words this week, and I will get started now. So the first person I will call on is Henry Dow. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you an image, and then you will give a speech on that image. All right. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, Henry, it's all yours.
Thank you, Topics Master. Good evening, Wellington Toastmasters. I was hoping I could keep looking at the image. There was so much going on, but what I recalled was a pineapple and a bottle of honey, and I think it had sunglasses on. Yes. So this beach reminds me of a place called the Caribbean. So I went on the cruise in 2011, and on that cruise, we were supposed to go south towards the Caribbean, towards the Caribbean islands, but somehow somebody got sick on the boat and we never made it. So I never got a chance to see what the Caribbean islands look like. But if I was to imagine, it kind of looked like that. Pineapple and sunglasses and a bottle of honey. Man, this is a tough table topics.
bottle.
If I was on an island and I had a pineapple and sunglasses and a bottle of honey, I would think that I would make it through probably day one. I would probably eat the pineapple. I'll at least have sunglasses to protect myself from UV sun rays. And the bottle of honey, I guess I could use that as some kind of trap to get an animal and then survive somehow. That will have to do it for me. Thank you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Henry. For the next image, I will be calling on Shastri, and I will share my screen now for the second topic. Shastri, would you like me to keep up the image?
No, you could take it. You could take it down. All right. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and friends. That image reminds me of 4th of July, which is around the corner. Unfortunately, it's not going to be as fun as last year. Last year, I had the opportunity to go to Minnesota. It was such an epic trip. Went to see my wife's family. We went on the lake. I've never been on the lake before. And they had several houses and boats there with fireworks. It lasted from 6 to 11 p.m. But unfortunately, I didn't last that long. Within an hour, I was already drunk, passed out on the couch. So I couldn't remember much from that trip on the lake, but I had the opportunity to spend time with my niece, Emma, who loves me. I'm not bragging, but she just loves me. Kids love me for some reason. I guess I'm just a nice guy. But it really taught me that working consistently is not the most important thing in life. It's really family. It's really taking care of yourself. It's really spending time with the people that you love, especially in these times. It reminded me back of that day, of that week that I took off. As you all know, I work a lot. I work very hard, and I'm very hard on myself. And sometimes you just have to appreciate life and go with the flow. And all these events, coronavirus and this protest, just shows me that, you need to appreciate life even more. And last night I was laying on the bed and I was thinking, man, Toastmasters, our club, just reminds me of the world, diverse people. So that's what that picture reminds me of. Thank you.
Thank you, Shastri. For our next topic, I have an image up and I will call on Sobia. Sobia, here is the image for your table topics.
Okay. So this reminds me, you can move the picture away. This reminds me of the hurricane season. If I remember right, it was last year or year before, I think it was in 2018 when we had that Hurricane Irma. And this is what we were looking at the picture all the time, although we hardly understand what it is talking about, or it's like just see the little white ball moving and where it is going, in which direction it is going, just keeping track of it, not understanding what they're talking about, just realizing, okay, just praying that hopefully we will survive through this. And
worry about their
luckily we did survive through that.
Discover all the way from.
What's that? I'm sorry. So that's what that I can think of the picture. And hopefully this year, we really do not have to follow that hurricane season like we did a couple of years ago. I hope that we went through this, we go through the season easily and calmly with safety. We already have a lot of coronavirus. Now we don't have to worry about this hurricane. Thank you.
Thank you, Sophia.
Table topics master, I think we'll stop there.
Yes.
Perfect.
Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Summer. I think those were some very relevant images for the theme of the meeting and for us as Floridians. So thank you. The next section of our meeting will be evaluations. This is the gift of instant feedback and a key part of success in the Toastmasters program. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Susanna Tuladar, who will be our general evaluator for this evening.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gary. May I please have the timer's report on the table topics?
Everybody was in time.
Thank you. Timer, please demonstrate the timing signal for speech evaluation. Oh, we're going to do the voting now. All right. Is everybody done voting for the table topics?
People that haven't voted yet, if everyone wants to put in their vote, I'm going to count it down for 3, 2, 1.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Stacy, I'm going to give it back to Toastmaster Justin for the timing signal for speech evaluation.
General evaluator, I will show the green card at 2 minutes. I will show the yellow card at 2 minutes 30 seconds, and I will show the red card at 3 minutes. And I will pop the evaluator at 3 minutes 30 seconds.
Thank you, Toastmaster Justin. Now we have reached to our evaluation section. Next, we have Toastmaster Sonia Garate evaluating Jack Miller's speech tonight. Please welcome Toastmaster Sonia.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sujana. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. Jack, what a wonderful speech that you gave tonight. It was so scrumptious and it was timely. That's what I felt was the most important. It was such a timely speech. What are inalienable rights? So first of all, you stood up when you gave your speech, which was great. So I can hear your voice, I could see your hands, I could see your facial expressions. And it was obvious that you are very enthusiastic about this topic, from how you spoke and the words that you shared with us so naturally. I love that you began with a question from your speech title, and you asked us that at the beginning, and you gave us time to think about it. So I really had not thought about this before. I'm sure we all know that phrase, but to sit down and think for a minute about what is the correct answer to that question, it was a great opening. Then you went on to describe the history of rights, beginning in the US, which was very relevant. And I noticed that while you were speaking in the beginning, you adjusted either your camera or the screen of your speech, but it was done seamlessly. So you walked forward, you maneuvered something, you walked back, but you never broke the flow as you were speaking, and you continued on so that it almost wasn't noticed. Only because I was evaluating you, I actually noticed it, but I think anybody else observing would not have noticed at all. 2 points I'd like to provide for improvement, which would be, I would give more detail about the history of rights. You started off sharing that and I was hooked, I was hungry for more, and then you kind of switched tack and I thought, oh, I wanted to hear more about the Magna Carta and how it continued on basically into our Bill of Rights today. The second point I would say is you had such great philosophical musings to share, but I would like that to have been more organized and how it related to your topic. So you even brought in God and what rights God gave us, but it would have been great to connect that and tie it into how does that connect to our current rights today. I liked how you shared your point of the 3 R's, rights, responsibilities, and regulators. So your speech was full of great information. It was timely, it was spoken about with passion. And if you had more detail in that speech, it would be absolutely memorable, and you could give that anywhere to anybody and they would find value in it. Thank you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sonia. Without further ado, please welcome our second evaluator for this evening, Toastmaster Connie, evaluating speech from Micheline, Toastmaster Micheline.
Good evening, everybody. I am so excited for your speech, Micheline, because you know I'm a cheerleader. So I love the fact that you came out with your cheerleading pom-poms. You came out wearing hot pink. I don't think I've ever seen you wear such bright colors. You definitely got our attention. Your teeth are beautiful. Your face was glowing. Your curls were scrumptious. But you got my attention with 2 things. You got my attention with mentors and the breakdown of the mentors. And you got my attention when you asked who would be on my dream team. And I'm still thinking about that right now, because how often do we ask ourselves who would be on our dream team? Your eye contact conveyed excitement, emotion. Your body language, you got up and you actually shook those pom-poms. Your gestures were great. I compared it to last week's speech, which was wonderful and emotional, but you went all out on this one, because you got the body, you corrected everything and so much more. So I'm so excited for you. And you got everybody's attention. You may want to look at, it was hard to figure out, like, okay, what's wrong with this speech? However, I did find a couple of things that kind of was making me smile to myself. You have a palm tree back there behind you on the wall. Well, it looked like a crown. When you were standing up, it looked like it was a crown around your head. So this makes us aware of, let's look at our background before we take a speech. Maybe taking that palm tree picture down might be better, so that we can really focus on those scrumptious curls. And if you really want to kick it up a notch, I mean, you could really do a cheer, but other than that, I thought it was great. You appeared self-assured, in total gratitude and in awe of how Toastmasters has changed you, how it's changed every one of us. When you said I was afraid to even verbalize a word, I love that, because every one of us has been there. So your speech was truly exemplary, and it was truly understood and enjoyed. Very good, Micheline. Cheers.
Thank you, Toastmaster Connie. Now, last but not the least, our third evaluator tonight, Toastmaster Stacy, will be evaluating Toastmaster Heon Green's speech.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, friends. We represent the world here. Toastmaster Heon. I'm just going to play this. I want you to be with these words for a moment.
There comes a time when we heed a certain call. when the world must come together as one. There are people dying. Oh, when it's time to lend a hand to life, the greatest gift of all.
Keon, we represent the world here, and your topic tonight engaged each one of us. Not only did it engage each one of us, but I believe it brought us all to presence in the way that you conveyed your message. You came on, you made a statement, and then you put us all in question right away. We didn't know if you were going to call on us or you weren't going to call on us, but it most certainly grabbed our attention and kept us focused on this topic. You came into this topic with kindness and brought curiosity to us as well in bringing these points across in how we could be contributors and collaborators in this world, and showing us and giving us example of your expression of what oneness is and what it means to you. And then you laid it on us to be with that. I was thoroughly impressed with how you brought up Michelle Obama. I have been telling a ton of people to watch Becoming, because if you haven't seen that movie, it's an incredible movie to watch, and to see how Michelle Obama has actually, like you said, strategically planned her tour, and what better people did she choose. And the people that she did choose, the diversity represented, again, our world in minority. Beautiful. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. The reflection that you gave us viewpoints on and allowed us to reflect. A couple of things I may suggest with this speech is I would have invited everyone to get out their pencils and paper and really be with these questions that you've asked. They were powerful questions, and it gave us room to think, even if tonight we journaled about it, and maybe get their feedback and everyone's feedback, so you have feedback on how you are surrounding with your dream team. This is your dream team on every Monday night. We are the dream team. Excellent job on how you brought in all of the pieces of everyone's different viewpoints and speeches, and even brought in the invocation statement. I love how you pulled our team together with that. Excellent job, Keon. Thank you so much for being a part of our dream team. Loved everything about you tonight.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Stacy, can I please have the timer's report for speech evaluation?
Oh, Justin, you're muted.
All right, everybody was within time.
All right, thank you, Toastmaster Justin. So time to vote for best evaluator. Five more seconds.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Thank you, Toastmaster Stacy. May I please have Grammarian's report?
Thank you, Toastmaster Susanna. The word scrumptious, the word of the day, used 9 times correctly, and I'm sorry if I missed something. Some awkward things I heard, like some usage of the word, which I think should be some of the ways this word can be used, or some of the usages of the word. If I was to imagine, I think it should be if I were to imagine. And I'm some notable things. I was almost writing Ion's full speech, but then I realized, no, I'm writing a lot. So, but few things is like, racism in America is like a dust. Racism is like a cancer.
It was such an epic trip. Toastmaster, a world of diverse people. And I also noted I haven't seen Becoming, which I will definitely try to do that. And if any one of you haven't done so, so please do that. And I am sure everyone will agree with me that it was a scrumptious meeting in terms of our speeches to the present topic. Thank you, Toastmaster Susanna.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sylvia. May I please have the counters report?
Thank you, General Evaluator. The total number of filler words used by the club today is 33. The most fillers used by a member was 11. The most commonly used filler word today was the double start and pauses. And there were no Toastmasters that did not use filler words. However, I would like to make note that 5 Toastmasters only used 1 filler word. That concludes my odd counter report, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Henry. So we are about 3 minutes behind today. Meeting started, I think, 1 minute late. We do not have any guests in the house tonight. So the transition between the speeches were very smooth. The title was called appropriately, and also the timing was stated before the speeches. And as far as the table topics, it was very entertaining. I really enjoyed the picture. Picture speaks 1,000 words. It was absolutely right. And the topics were very interesting as well, very relevant to what's happening. Summer being, like right here, and July 4th around the corner. It was very relevant. And then, and the participant improvement, I think we did a good job. There were often times, like when I first joined Toastmasters, some of the topics, like speakers were not able to come up with idea, but that was not the case tonight. It was everybody spoke very confidently. And as for the speech evaluators, it was a very good ratio of, being Oreo cookie is what we use, positive feedback, and some of the negative improvement. I don't like to call negative, it's room for improvement. That was well given, and I hope well taken as well. So that concludes my evaluation for tonight. Please welcome Toastmaster Gary.
Thank you, Toastmaster Susanna. I appreciate your feedback on the meeting. Thank you also to all our evaluators this evening. So we're at everyone's favorite part of the meeting tonight, where we will announce the winners for this evening. As Stacey always says, we're all winners. So I'd like to applaud everyone for your participation this evening. No, there was a lot of last-minute roles and last-minute speeches, so I really do appreciate everyone pulling together to make this meeting a success. So without further ado, let's give a hand of applause to our first place speaker for this evening, Toastmaster Micheline Nembart. Thought you were going to bring out the pom-poms again. There we go. For our table topics winner for this evening, please give a round of applause to Toastmaster Shastri Stewart. And last but not least, for our evaluators, please give a round of applause to Toastmaster Sonia Garate. As I've said, thank you again so much to everyone for helping fill the roles for this evening. Really appreciate it. Speakers did an awesome job. Our evaluators did an awesome job. And table topics filled up the remaining people to allow everyone to have a good opportunity to speak this evening. So thank you very much. And I will now hand the meeting over to our one and only Toastmaster President, Stacy Kessler.
Oh, thanks, Gare. Great job tonight, Gary. Toastmaster Gary, always handling the meeting proficiently, and you bring your personality into it, as well as your transitions have become seamless in the way that you compliment people after they're done speaking, allowing people to feel like they matter. Every time they speak, you have something to say, which is always an inspiration to those of us who get through with our speeches or roles as our heart is winding down the beats, and you are complimenting and inspiring us. So thank you for that, Gary. Summer, loved everything you did tonight. Great job on your table topics, creativity. Your artistry was beautiful.
Thank you, Stacy.
Yes, you're so welcome. And I have to tell you, Susanna, you always impress me to all new levels. You raise the bar with this club every time you take a role on, showing us professionalism, being spot on, you're focused, you're driven, and we feel that, and we take everything you say. I'm leaning in because you just keep everything in an orderly way, and you make us all feel like we do a great job no matter what part of the meeting that we're all contributing to. Great job on that. Thank you. Our speakers were excellent tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you, Timer, for being proficient with your timing as well. And great job. It's an honor and a privilege to spend our Monday evenings together. Next week, do we have a Toastmaster of the Day yet?
I can try. I can do it.
Yay! Yes, that's exciting. Thank you. Thank you, Summer. Are you comfortable with signing up for the 2 weeks in a row?
Yes. Is it going to be online both weeks?
It will. It will.
Okay.
Until we are in a place, I feel like probably we're leaning more towards July with getting back into our space. And we'll know more towards the end of June to see where we're at with that. The office is open, and they are still maintaining social distancing as well. We're going to have to figure out how that's all going to work and put that all into action. And with Shastri being our sergeant at arms, we will get to have some backup support, being that Shastri is sometimes working an abundance of hours, and we will definitely need some support from our fellow Toastmasters in that role, and seeing how we can play out the social distancing. The masks is another big thing, so I'm not sure how we're going to be able to do with the masks and the speeches. And I think what we'll do is we'll have, probably before we dive into that, we'll have a meeting after our meeting, hold it for like 15 minutes, get people's feedback, and see what everybody's suggestions are in bringing our team back in person. How's that sound to everyone? Is everybody?
Sounds great.
Yeah, okay, perfect. At this time, I'm going to conclude the meeting and thank everyone for being here. We did a great job. It's 8:06. The meeting is now adjourned. And may we have our executive team and anyone who wants to join us take just about 5 minutes, and we'll have a quick executive meeting. And we'll start that at 8:07. Everybody can log out.
Have a great week, everybody.
Thanks, Con. Thank you. Great job tonight, Connie.
Thank you.